And that's the thing in a region like this, you're Quincy, right? And there's EG and TSM as well. You need to win every series except against the other two, right? Like, if you lose to anyone, your chances of getting top 2 are almost eliminated because the other teams are generally going to beat them, which was EG's problem last season. They barely scraped by, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, I think this is going to be Quincy's potentially biggest test outside of the other two. I haven't been too impressed by Zoomers this season. We'll see.
Well, keep in mind that Zoomers and like a lot of these other teams have played Quincy Crew a lot more than the cut lineup, most likely. We don't know about scrims and whatnot, but at least in officials, they have a lot more experience against them.
That is true. I'm with basically everything SVG said about the lineups, by the way. I think this Quincy strat looks really solid. It looks really good for their players and what they usually try to do. It also reminds me a lot of how SVG likes to draft, so no surprise that he likes it. As far as the cut goes, it's way more curveball-y. There's a lot of other stuff going on here. The techies, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm happy to see a techies pick.
Me too. I want to.
Techies is actually enjoyable to watch and cast now.
I wouldn't know that. This would be my first techies cast, and during the new one, that is.
I have cast techies in the past. It was some of the hardest casting I've ever had to do.
Really?
But,
I thought casting techies in the past was actually kind of fun. As we're going to see the bounties end up getting traded evenly.
Ponlo.
And yeah, Ponlo takes a lot of damage. The sticky bomb was used, a la Mr. Bombardier from Heroes of New Earth. That's where that ability's from, Cinderin. That's when you know you really run out of ideas on how to redo techies. It's just take a skill from Han. But talk to me about this new hero, which essentially is. I mean, how different is it for those that haven't seen it?
It's very different. So old techies was very much about zone control, just placing down landmines, placing down stasis traps, placing down remote mines. Now the old landmine is the ult. It's called proximity mines like it was before, but they activate really quickly, so it's way harder to destroy them, and they do really substantial damage. And then he now has sticky bomb, which is a thrown ability that lands a bomb in an AoE. If there's a hero nearby, it will stick to them, deal damage in slow. His second skill is reactive taser, which he activates, and then, well, let's see if we don't die. Nobody dies here. I think Milan is gonna be okay. Take some pretty significant damage here. Actually keeps taking it. He'll be okay still. He has
fine,
a fire.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Reactive taser, you activate it, and then if people attack you for 6 seconds, they will get disarmed. And it only works on yourself unless you get, I believe, is it the Scepter? Yeah, the Scepter. You can cast on allies, and then it detonates as well when it activates.
Yeah, I think most people, first of all, the design, I agree with you, is so much better than before. The taser is a little bit awkward right now. I would expect some tweaks in the future to make it not so awkward to use in general. And I think a lot of people think reactive taser is one of the worst ags in the entire game. To the point where this could just be like a talent potentially.
That would be pretty wild. Then it should be a late game talent.
Well, yeah, like a 25 talent, something like that. But yeah, we'll see how it ends up getting tweaked in the future. But the fact that it's been picked a couple times now in the DPC is always great to see.
Another thing about techies is his stat lines got readjusted. So the old techies had insanely high armor and insanely low damage. It's been more normalized now, so his right clicks actually have meaning in the lane. He hits for 50 instead of like 35 or something.
It's strange as Scourge McDuck here is going to get forced out a bit, but obviously the projectile with his auto tech looks exactly the same. We just expect nothing of it.
Yeah.
Like, it still hasn't set in my mind, at least for me.
It can definitely catch you off guard, because you've played for years against this hero that does nothing but lay mines, and now it actually does stuff, so that's, yeah. But you also shouldn't underestimate the fact that he lost, I think, 2 base armor, because it does make you quite more susceptible to dying in lane as well.
Right.
So,
well, let's talk about, we'll come back to techies again, I'm sure. Let's talk about this mid lane first, because Quinn's going to be playing his Pangolier.
It's just doing great.
Yeah.
In this lane.
Very, very good so far. 16 and 4 in terms of the CS, as Milan's going to get chased here by Overlom. And another Shadow Poison. Looks like he's going to sidestep it very quick. Milan not going to be able to reciprocate much damage, as First Blood will go the way of the cut.
You're actually so good.
But back to this mid lane. Ember versus Pango. And like you said, Ember doing very well right now. And I want to talk about Pango real quick in terms of just the lineup. We haven't really discussed how these heroes face off against each other.
Oh, Ade's dead here, I think.
Yeah, it looks like he's donezo in that off lane. But SVG brought this up, the whole Diffusal versus Bristle, and that's a position 1
Oh,
Bristle.
Quinn's dead, maybe.
All right, getting chased. Looks like he's fine. Thanks for making me excited for no reason.
Quinn's alive.
But how do you itemize against it? You just have to go BKB? Is that like literally the only thing you can do on Bristle? Because it's going to be like you were talking about this backstage, the Chakra Magic.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that pairing. Caudle plus mid Pango. I think it's super strong. Yeah, what do? Either you get BKB so you can handle the mana burn, or you just have to itemize something that covers your bases there. Okay, it's Fairy as well. So
yeah.
Same story again. We'll stay alive with that. Yeah, what do? I'm thinking if there's some sort of alternative route you can take with your items so you have enough mana. If you can go something like Kaya Sanj, or if you can go, something like Shiva or Lotus Orb, if that's enough. Because Lotus has other secondary benefits in this game, right? You can reflect beam, you can get rid of the Solar Bind, you can get out of Tree and Ult. So I think Lotus actually has a lot of value. But obviously BKB counters the same things, so you need to look at what does more for you in the given situation.
I mean, Scourge McDuck plays a really good Bristle. I remember casting him, was it last season? When they were Division 2. And he's very good in the hero. It's just this game feels very difficult, as it's going to start out pretty difficult for him as Kezu just destroys him thanks to the help from Milan. So, not off to the greatest. I mean, it does have 22 CS right now, but that's going to be a tough lane for him to withstand.
To me, this is one of the strongest lanes in Dota right now.
Techies gets off the sticky bomb.
Not enough.
Goes in as well, but it's not enough to actually take out Yawar. They're just going to man up. The Lucent Beam's going to keep the Techies in place. Gets off another sticky bomb. Hits Yawar. Has to be careful. The Breathe Fire's there as well. Getting slowed.
Nice.
There's the Dragon Tail, so Yawar ends up getting baited in. That sticky bomb is so difficult to actually sidestep.
And this is something to keep in mind when you're playing against a hero like this. Like, these players might have some experience playing against in pubs. I don't know if Quincy have played any scrims against a team that's coordinated and knows how to play around techies, right? It's not a very popular hero right now. I think some players are really looking toward it as an interesting competitive pick. I think it was the tier list. I don't know if he was joking or not. I don't think he was, from Miposhka, the position 5 for Team Spirit. He had techies as S tier, as a 5 this patch, actually. The only tier he had higher was some sort of anime word tier, and it was Pudge. And that was obviously a joke. But I think the S tier for techies he might have been serious about.
You think that the Pudge was obviously a joke, but not the techies?
He plays techies in pubs and he owns. So
okay.
I'm just saying, like,
that's
I've actually
really cool.
seen it. So he definitely thinks highly of the hero as a 5.
Yep, Scourge.
This lane is just so stupidly strong. Mars has some of the best laning nukes in the game as an offlaner, and the only downside to it is that they cost a decent high amount of mana. So if you're playing with Caudle, this Mars just has freedom to non-stop harass into Bristle, which you usually as Bristle are fine. You just outlast the mana and then you farm. But in this case, you're just going to keep getting bullied over and over and over again. Actually surprised to see Scourge not buying a stick here. I feel like that's almost a must-have when you're playing against a Caudle spam lane like Caudle Mars. You really should have that in your inventory. Same for Overlum, but...
Oh, Ponlo, he's going to be in a bit of trouble. Blast off connects, and Kit's coming in to finish off the job, so... Nice setup there from the techies.
And Kits was holding up, we were touching upon this really quickly. Kits was holding up really, really well against Quinn in mid. This is one of the matchups that Quinn has a lot of experience with, playing as Pango in high rank NA pubs. Ember mid is very popular, and Quinn plays a ton of this Pango. So the fact that Kits was pulling ahead in this lane, which I think is even or even slightly Pango favored if played really well, is a great sign for Kits' form on the day. He's doing a good job here. 40 CS on the Ember, gets the kill on Treant. Just keeping up that efficiency with this nice slight, or rather nice remnant into hard camp. Leaves the
stolen camp. There's some stolen camps up here that we're watching. Is Overlom. He's going to be found out. 3 members of Quincy crew are here to murder you, my friend. And they're going to take some creeps as well. I mean, Shadow Demon, one of the best heroes at just getting these multi-stacks off, and you can see that Quincy crew are the ones taking advantage of that instead.
They're very well aware that Shadow Demon wants to do that here, especially because he's playing with Bristle safe lane. I think for Bristle to be a carry and be successful, he needs to overfarm. I don't think a Bristle that breaks even with a lot of the meta carries is going to fare particularly well. In this game, like we talked about, his matchups also aren't the greatest with a Diffusal and a potential Overgrowth.
Right.
So he really needs to get ahead through stacks, and yeah, so far Quincy have done a pretty good job stopping it. There is a triple stack Ancients, however, that is prepared for him. I'm sure he will be getting that one later on.
Yep. So. And it is properly warded, so Quincy crew will likely not be able to contest very much, as You can see the DK pops the dragon form and try to pressure this tier 1 bot. I mean, it's going to be the old DK versus Treant tower pressure. Of course, DK usually gets the better of that. I mean, what are your thoughts on Mr. Treant Protector these days? Not a hero we see all that often.
Yeah, so Living Armor got changed, right? So it heals quite a bit less on towers, but it has really high duration on higher levels, so you can have it on 2 heroes at a time. It's like slightly worse at healing up towers quickly. You see it's ticking for 3 right now on level 1, which is very, very low. It takes a long time to get the full heal in, but it's better for fighting. So I think that's the trade-off you take with Treant. And considering how big a part of the heroes' picks were based around defending towers, I think is quite significantly less good, in my opinion, than he was before.
Okay.
But perhaps I'm overlooking some other thing that happened to him that gave him a significant change. Like maybe in some cases the Living Armor on heroes is really, really impactful, and then you pick it for that. So it's more of like a fighting hero and less of a tower defense.
So how does Techies work in this lineup for the cut? We can round back, as I promised, to this hero.
Well, I think when you pick it with Dragon Knight, first of all, you have a guaranteed setup for Blast Off. He's going to get Shard on minute 15, potentially. Looking at Veil first, which is a very standard build-up. Techies would like to go Veil Shard because it's the huge magic burst. You Veil the target, you jump in. While they're stunned from the Shard Blast Off, you put down 2 Proximity Mines and a Sticky Bomb, and you as a 4 can solo kill a core, almost. And it's very reliable with Dragon Knight and Ember as the setups, and you're playing against no real save. So I think that's his role in this game. I think it's actually a pretty damn good Techies game, and I'm curious to see if BGod can showcase the hero's strengths here. Yep. I've not seen it in a pro game yet, so I'm very curious.
The Ancient Stack is being taken right now, and it looks like Quinn wants to try to contest, gets off his ult a little bit late on the blast off, and here comes the first Mars Arena of the game. Can they finish anybody off? The Techies is first to fall. Quinn will continue to roll. Looks like the DK will get caught. Shield crash to follow with the swashbuckle as well. The cut here in tow, double kill for Kezu, and they're just going to chase here. Quinn getting extremely low, still has that shield crash damage mitigation, but finally will fall. So the cut able to get something, but they're going to lose their bristle back as well. Triple kill for Kezu. The Ancient Stack was basically all taken, though, at the very least for the cut, but not a good defense otherwise.
A really, really good arena from Kezu there, especially considering he doesn't have Dagger yet. He just walked up and got 3 heroes in there. Unfortunately for them, the Illuminate didn't connect exactly the way they wanted it to, or that would have been just a clean sweep without losing Pango. But they get a 3-for-1 exchange, I believe it was. That's good enough. Sticky Bomb not going to stick there.
Yeah, but the blast off is, but the spear after the blast off going to pin him to the tree. But Ponlo still the sacrifice for Quincy crew.
Milan put a shirt on, by the way, for game time, so I think it's, or at least he put on the blanket.
That's good. It's not, man, I already forgot that we had this discussion before and I've already forgot. Snuggie? Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, it's called a Snuggie.
Yeah.
The first thing I was thinking when I was like, what's it called, was Comforter, but that's something else.
Yeah, that's what you put on top of your blanket.
Yeah.
So he does have a Snuggie. I wasn't aware that he does not wear a shirt under that. You'd think that if he was cold, he would have both on, but, you know, I'll have to ask him after this. Just to see what the current meta in his household is with like the air conditioning, if there is any at this time of year. Probably not. It is winter technically. Kit's on the Ember Spirit. Looks like he's about 600 away from finishing the Maelstrom. And you talked about the Blink Dagger for Kezu, which is officially completed.
And Scourge McDuck is top net worth. Despite having a hard lane and having 2 deaths, they have definitely successfully got him in the direction that they were hoping for. Proximity Mines will be glyphed here. Nicely timed by Ponlo, I would imagine. But this tower is still going to fall.
Indeed. Delays the inevitable.
Oh.
And, well, all right.
It's...
Well, that Ponlo's in the area, but not really. I mean, this is one of the more annoying heroes to try to chase anyway, and usually not worth the effort. But speaking of Scourge McDuck on the bristle, so he has the Vanguard, along with the Soul Ring. We'll be going for Aghanim Scepter.
It's going to give him a lot of mana
right away.
The Diffusal.
Yep, that is true.
Also a good solution. I don't know if I would call it a solution, but it's definitely a big help. Another fat stack here.
It's gonna how much mana do you need, like a Shiva's this game? Does that sound reasonable? Like to get a ton of mana on top of being at least a useful item for him?
I think Lotus after Ags would be really good this game. Oh, Milan just barely avoiding that. No, nice damage from Quinn.
Okay, we got the jump in from Kezu. Nice save from Overlom for now, but Quinn's still going to help take out the DK. Now the roll continues. Overlom's going to get caught out into the high ground. The swashbuckle's there as well. Does get off his demonic perch, so Quinn very, very slow right now with the sticky bomb and a couple of remote mines as well. By remote mines, of course, those not in the game anymore, thanks Cinderin.
Proximity mine.
It will be a 2-for-1, so a pretty big kill onto Quinn.
Technically speaking, proximity mines can be remote.
I know.
Just not very much remote.
Not in this game.
Well, they're just very little remote, but still remote.
Okay. Well, technically correct then is what you're saying?
Yeah, it's
Thank
good.
you.
It's good enough.
So I can call them remote mines still?
As you wish.
Great. Scourge McDuck taking out another pretty big stack of Ancients while we watch this replay here.
So I think this is a mistake from Quinn. I know what he's like. He thinks the swashbuckle isn't going to kill, and he was right. It almost did. But by making the swashbuckle short melee range, he exposes himself to getting countered on immediately after, right? If he goes for a max range swash, he will reset and get out, and Kezu could probably finish that kill. So a little bit of a mistake there is going to cost him his life. Kit's
Kezu.
not scared at all.
Yeah, I mean, that Maelstrom does a lot of damage. Kit's completely out of mana, so just has to rely on the right clicks. It's going to be enough. Not even sure if the Breathe Fire connected in time. The Kits will get the credit for that kill, so Kezu biting off a little bit too much for himself to chew. And Scourge McDuck, 150 away from Aghanim Scepter, basically done at this point. Let's hope he has a mechanical keyboard because, good lord, you're going to be clicking some keys soon enough.
Yep. And I'm really liking Kits this game. I just have to repeat it again. I think he's doing an awesome job on Ember. I haven't seen too much of this player. I've seen a couple of pubs, maybe one official, but really impressive so far in this game. And it's important for their team as well, because I think in order for them to win, the Ember has to scale. I don't think Bristle, even if he gets really farmed, can solve this game on his own. So they're going to need Ember to have some big damage items as well. Currently eyeing BKB after the Maelstrom. And then very curious to see what his next pickup will be, if it will be some sort of synergy with Bristle through a Deso, or if he's going to go the magic logic with something like Ags.
There's the Ags.
Yeah.
I mean, what's their answer for Pango this game, just in general?
They have some good stuns, right? Or, well, they have Dragon Tail, and they have...
The Dragon Tail instant stun, and then the Ensnare is very important as well.
Dragon Tail, Slight Chains, and Techi's Blast Off with Shard is going to be pretty powerful, too.
For the most part, you have to catch him off guard, right? It's like,
yeah.
You don't have... Like, once he's rolling his ult, you just can't do anything.
They can do nothing about it.
And I believe with Searing Chains, if you get Shard, which you usually do on Pango anyway, you can just pop that at any point, right? Pretty sure. Yeah, it dispels.
Should be the case,
it
yeah.
Dispels.
But yeah, the real danger is the Dragon Tail into Blast Off Shard.
For sure. Kezu does not want to get aggressive here. Will be dewarded as the taser goes off. I actually like the concept behind this ability quite a bit, because it's kind of a pseudo skill. It's a disarm, obviously, which is something that this hero has never had anything remotely like before. But also, it's a semi-getaway spell. Like, it's not a blink per se.
It's a way of resetting yourself after you blast off.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. It's really cool. It's just, I don't know. It feels a bit clunky right now. I don't know what. I can't really put my finger on what it is. Maybe the timers need to be tweaked a bit. 2K lead for Quincy Cruz, so they're getting better the farm exchange despite not having the top net worth in the game, which is on Scourge McDuck right now.
We've talked a lot about the stacks that Bristle has taken, but it's been pretty similar on Quincy's side, right? Yawar has been playing the triangle a lot. He has Mask of Madness into BKB. And in a game of quiet where both teams just get to farm, I think Luna and Bristle will generally go hand in hand like this if they're stacks. So usually later on in the game, Luna's net worth will have more value because she's less inherently counterable by support items, right? Bristle is counterable by Force Staff, by Lotus Orb,
There's
even
not
E-Blade.
really a silver edge carry. I mean, Luna could go for it, I guess.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I wouldn't mind seeing it on Yawar because it's good against 2 heroes this game. And the critical strike is fine. So yeah, could be a thing. But I think also just sticking to a more default build will be completely fine. You just need to be able to stand your ground and just stand and deliver while all your big AoE ultis are controlling enemy heroes like Overgrowth, Arena, even a Pango roll. If you can just hit and have a shard Shard beams coming out during the fight with maybe a chakra on top, then that should be enough to get kills.
We're going to see the Mars Arena.
Good reaction.
Instant disruption, and we can see the Shard from the DK come to fruition. They're going to lose their Shadow Demon, but it's going to potentially cost them Kezu, who's just burning in the fires. Looks like it's going to be a 1-for-1 to start things out. And I believe it will all break up now as Kith not really with a ton of mana to work with, but Ponlo getting chased, but here comes the shield crash from Quinn. Does not have his ult to work with. You can see the fireball coming in as well, but the DK dies shortly after, and Bristleback just melting here to that swashbuckle. He's barely going to get out of dodge, though. Yawar completely slowed up, and Scourge McDuck's going to be able to TP out.
2-for-1.
Yeah, it worked out a lot better than what I was anticipating for the cut.
Yeah, Bristle managed to reposition himself very quickly when that Eclipse came in, so he only took hits from the back. And definitely paying off right now. He is closing in on BKB as well, which will allow him to just frontally fight Luna, I think. There isn't going to be enough damage in Quincy's lineup for quite a while to just take him out, especially given that he also has that Vanguard. It's going to help quite a bit against residual damage from Luna as well as the Mars. And even Pango, I suppose.
And this tier 1 tower is definitely deniable. We're going to hold on to it for now because... Huh? Are they actually going for Roche? My goodness.
I don't know how much I like this. I know there's no dragon form, but put a fireball in there.
Yep, sticky bomb comes in. Somehow connects to Quinn, goes through the wall. The laws of physics do not work with sticky bomb. Good to know in the future.
This is hard for them to do against Bristol if he gets the right angle here and gets some coverage from Shadow Demon.
Yep, Scourge McDuck wants to scout this out. And they're going to see that Roche is relatively low. And you can see the Rolling Thunder being faked out. They're going to take out the Treant right off the bat. So 5v4 Eclipse, not available. Yawar has to run away with the BKB. So not what Quincy Crew was looking for. As the buyback now comes in from the Treant as the Swashbuckler connects on 2. Lucent Beam to follow. There's the disarm as Quinn attempting to get out of dodge, but it's not going to happen. So 2 dead. Make it 3 if you count that buyback.
Yeah.
And the cut can just finish off Roche themselves.
I really don't like that Quincy went for this attempt for a couple of reasons, right? So first of all, if you're going to do it, I don't think you put Treant out in front as a potential target for the enemy team. They take him out quickly, and at that point, they aren't able to get Overgrowth off in the fight ever. He had no way of reconnecting to the fight, even with the buyback. So if you want to do this, there needs to be another hero that's the quote-unquote bait. You also didn't have Eclipse, which is one of your key spells that was used in the last engagement where Bristol just got out. And the enemy team has everything except Dragon Form, which I think, you know, in a fight like this is kind of secondary. So, yeah, nice from the cut. They got
that is a
team fight win,
huge
tower
boost
and Rogue
for them. I mean, they have the net worth lead for all intents and purposes, and Bristleback extremely strong.
Nice getting BKB now on Scourge.
Yeah, BKB just about done. One dynamic we haven't really talked about is Overlom, who now has the Aether Lens. This hero versus Luna.
Yeah, very nice.
What
for sure.
And this was picked afterwards, right?
Yeah,
the Luna was picked into Shadow Demon. So why are they not afraid of this this matchup, like mid to late game?
I think Quincy's mentality here is that they have a lineup that has a lot of synergy with itself, and they're mainly looking at what they want to do rather than how much the enemy counters it, because it's not like you can't play against Shadow Demon with Luna. It's not like an unplayable matchup. It's a concern, but if your strategy goes well, you'll be fine. But yeah, now that the game is even at this point and the Cut have this momentum going their way, the Shadow Demon can definitely become a problem. That's for sure. And, you know, if Overlom keeps having a good game, perhaps we could be looking at a secondary item like a Shard or even a Scepter would be enormous in this game. Like, Scepter is game-winning in a game like this, if you can get there.
I mean, that definite top 10 ags in the game, Cinderin, if I do say so myself.
Dirty good.
All right, the tier 2 tower. They've already used fortification. They've used a couple living armors as well, but this is going to be given up, which means the outpost will be for the taking for the Cut. I mean, the top tier 2 was being damaged a bit by Quincy Crew, but they definitely cannot commit considering there is still this Aegis online for the Cut, which is not even halfway through yet. So if you're Quincy Crew, do you just wait out this Aegis and kind of reset? I mean, in terms of net worth, it's a very, very even game right now.
I think you're okay with farming. It's not like this game is out of control if you go late game. You have Luna, Pango, and Mars all scale pretty well, but it is concerning how far behind Quinn is in this game to the Ember. They obviously can't see the numbers, but Ember being 7 and 0 and Quinn being 2 and 3 is probably an indicator for them that they are behind. Quinn will now get a big damage upgrade here with the Axe.
Oh, yeah.
So this is your favorite build on Pango, Axe and Diffusal Blade. A very uncommon build on any other role than mid Pango. But mid Pango can pull it off because he farms fast enough and gets enough gold in the game. But this is still probably a couple of minutes later than Quinn would have liked. And now that he finally has this, there is the BKB out on the Bristle. The Dragon Knight is closing in on his as well. Ember has Kaya Sanj closing in on Ags. And, you know, you would have liked to have this for the fight that you took at Roche.
True.
So a little bit late here for Quinn. All right, they're just going to go for Kazu.
Kazu, already half HP inside his own arena, gets off the spear. But here come the remnants, and that is going to be an easy kill for the cut as this tier 2 tower.
Easy
peasy. And the tier 2 tower, again, living armor, but they will likely get this anyway. Should mention that Quinn, of course, has that level 15 talent that allows you to cast Shield Crash every 2.5 seconds while in your ulti.
Which they took that over the other one, which is common with this build.
Yes. God, I love to see Ags. Man, Quinn, what a build. One of the most satisfying Ags in the game, in fact.
The thing about this build is that I think it's pretty volatile in the sense that you have this short ult. I say short, it's 10 seconds. But when that ult is over, you're very susceptible. You probably want Refresher later on in this game because when you think about it, the lineup he's playing against, he's unlikely to find quick kills, right? It's tanky cores, it's Bristle, it's Dragon Knight, it's Ember with a defensive support behind. So you're probably not going to kill them as quickly as you're used to in many of your games. And once your ulti runs out, you're very exploitable for the enemy team, especially with Demonic Purge.
Yep, that's true.
Kit.
Ponlo getting chased. Kit. Overgrowth comes out.
Yep.
And Ponlo will likely be okay. Yeah, he's good to go. So Shard now online for Quinn, and I think after this, I would expect a Basher. They don't really have that much lockdown for the Ember Spirit particularly, but we'll see what he ends up going
I guess
for the
it's
Pango.
that or still the Refresher, right? Because he's very safe in ult. That's the other thing. The enemy team, like we talked about, they have no piercing spells that are going to stop the ult.
Yeah.
So I actually think Refresher might be a better value than Basher.
Pretty cheap, though.
Yeah.
Pretty cheap, and it's a guaranteed
maybe
stun
Basher into Refresh.
I mean, you don't go full Abyssal right away, I don't think. But yeah, we'll see. And I mean, the Aegis is gone, and we should mention Scourge McDuck is going for Bloodstone. Man, I love this build. Spell Lifesteal to a high degree. You just pop it, you get extra. And no hero does. No hero. Oh, that's the break.
Silver.
Yeah, that's the Silver Edge already. And there comes the Mars Arena. BKB popped by Kezu. They're going to delete the Shadow Demon right off the bat. Scourge McDuck finally gets off the BKB, but he's already extremely low on HP. And the cut, just like that, have lost 3 members. So now on the run. Looks like the Lucent Beam was there. A double kill for Yawar. And Quincy crew, what a fight for them. And they have taken a firm lead as a result of this.
What's super important about that is, first of all, they have this old ward in the triangle that the cut never found. So that's what gave them the vision to go for this play to begin with. But the other thing is, you could see that Scourge was kind of trying to semi-bait them. He walked forward down the hill and then turned his back and he was like testing them, like, come at me. He doesn't know there's a Silver Edge in play, I think. So now that he gets caught, Shadow Demon is kind of unsure if he can leave him alone, so he's standing in range to save with a disruption.
Right.
Kezu immediately identifies this, jumps in, gets the 2-man arena and kills him off immediately. And this fight's just over after 5 seconds. So you just have to get out there, call it a loss. Nice fight by Quincy in that ward.
Was. Right there. BKB was just a second off there, unfortunately, for Scourge.
And that's huge. That is such a big win for Quincy. That was a 6K gold swing, that fight.
Yep.
4 kills. They get the 27-minute bounties, I think. There's still one top that they could claim if they wanted to.
Aghanim Scepter now online for Kits.
Quinn got the dagger first.
Just as we expected.
Yeah.
After all that talk.
Went for a totally different item.
Indeed. Bloodstone is now officially completed. Have you seen a lot of people buy this item, by the way?
I've seen it on Leshrac
changed
primarily.
Yeah, Lesh is probably the best hero in the game, I would assume, for that. But Bristol's got to be up there. And Pudge, of course. I can't even say that with a straight face. I like the changes, though. It's just not picked up as often as I was hoping / expecting.
It might be one of those things that more players will come around to, and that might become part of more builds when you recognize what needs to protect it.
Right.
Like, the thing that I think is very unappealing for players to cover this is that you pay 10% of your current health to activate it, and when you buy this item early, you're very exploitable with, like, you know, Spirit Vessel or other sorts of healing reduction. But he does have a BKB protecting it here, so he's pretty covered.
You know who I like it on? Primal Beast.
Bloodstone Primal Beast. I have not done that.
It's fun. It's really, I mean, that on top of the 25 talent with the 50% spell lifesteal.
I never got level 25. I win in 15 minutes.
No, because you play position 4. You gotta play.
I just win.
Okay, whatever. A good joke, Cinderin.
I mean,
6K lead for Quincy crew.
All right, I take it back. I win or lose before level 25K.
That's
no in between.
Oh, Mars Arena with the spear. They're going to be able to catch Ember
Huge
Spirit.
kill.
75 seconds, no buyback. What a kill. What an initiation.
That's a dream kill. That's bottom tier 2 and maybe even mid tier 2 if Quincy squeeze as much advantage out of this as they can. And they're not done yet. They're going to try to get the techies. Nice jump away here from B-God. Probably still dead if they recognize where he is.
Yeah, he's next on Bristle. Gonna ignore him for now. B-God is who they have in their sights, and he gets deleted by Kezu. But Quinn might be the collateral. This will be a huge kill for the cut, and they get him.
Kezu missed that spear.
BKB popped, and now on the run. But while this is all happening, that tier 2 tower did go down, and Yawar has a Scotty.
Yep.
30 minutes. Look at his items. Goodness gracious.
He is huge, and I think they can just...
Although it's 2.5 minutes slower, apparently. But you don't usually go Silver Edge.
Right,
so.
He has a big item in between. I think if you wanted to here for Quincy, you could perhaps try to brute force this, but is it really worth taking the risk? You don't know the buyback status. Rather just wait for Quinn and start preparing for the Roche as the next objective. All right, you're going to get jumped by Ade here.
Yeah, BKB popped. He doesn't even have that many members next to him. It's just Scourge McDuck all by his lonesome. Feels like a bit of a wasted opportunity there as Ponlo will live as well.
Oh.
Interesting.
Worth keeping in mind about the new Bloodstone, just to finish off on that 40-second cooldown. It used to be very, very long.
Well, it used to have charges as well. It was totally different.
It was a very different item, but when you did activate it, what was the cooldown back then? It was like 160 or something? It was very long.
Sounds roughly correct, sure.
Yeah.
5-man smoke now by the cut.
Yeah, they didn't really expend anything except, actually nothing except Dragon Knight's BKB, which will be up again in 25. He will have Dragon form as well.
I think Quincy crew are going to smoke as well.
Yeah.
10-man smoke now.
The Cut do have some proximity mines set up here in the area. If they somehow manage to either have Quincy run into them and take damage during the fight, or just as a scouting tool, they'll know that something's up.
And Roshan is up and running with that shard available, as Boots of Bearing apparently were finished a while ago for Ponlo, or for Milan, I should say. It's actually pretty good against Bristol now that I think about it.
Yeah, they combat the slow for a little while.
I wonder how it works against Demonic Purge. Does it count Demonic Purge?
I would imagine Demonic Purge just dispels them.
Does it say it's dispellable? It does not say anything about it.
That is coming in the spring cleaning.
2023 spring cleaning?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be specified.
Perfect. Can't wait. Man, that's exciting. Boots of Bearing update. Cool item, though.
Is that the most popular of the new items? Which other new items are there?
Yeah, there's Harkin's Blade, which I never remember the actual
Revenant's
name of.
Brooch.
Yep.
What's the other one?
There's the... Gosh, what else?
I can't even remember.
I can't remember either. The only one I buy is Boots of Baron because it's just so fun to say.
Oh yeah, the Wraith Pact.
Oh right. That one's
so definitely the bongo boots are the most popular new item.
Yep,
by far.
Kezu looking for an opportunity to initiate, but instead they're just going to shadow Yawar. Get this outpost in preparation for the next potential Roche. Just checking the high ground for wards now, and the cut. They're going to need to try to reclaim this area to try to defend this incoming Roche.
I do think even with this 8K lead that Quincy are not that far ahead in terms of like how fights can play out here. Any sort of quick pick with Dragon Knight can lead to an instant kill. There's an Ember with Ags, so the burst damage is enormous. It's Ags Kaya Sanj even, so he has that spell amp. And because Quincy don't have any saves, any sort of 5v4 engagement following that, if they can reset and avoid or just tank through some of these big teamfight ultis, Quincy's lineup kind of runs out of steam in a specific type of team fights. If they do organize them correctly and they get what they want, they're going to roll them. But out of a 9k lead, this doesn't feel... It doesn't feel like it's just a done deal right now for Quincy. So, as we expected, it was going to be a good showing from the Cuts so far, and they're delivering in this game.
Indeed. They're going for another smoke. And we can see some scans coming out. I believe that was by... Was that Quincy?
Oh, this wraparound could go either
know,
really great or really badly.
It was scanning.
Oh, he reacted in time!
What a reaction with the shard. And Kezu is going to get the arena and the spear, but a nice save from afar from that Shadow Demon. Is Ade able to get off his BKB, but getting slowed perpetually with that Scotty. And he's going to be brought down if he's not careful. A couple more right clicks will do it. In the meanwhile, Quinn, he's going to get stunned up by the techies, but here comes Ember Spirit as well. Looks like Quinn will finally go down, but there's the Luna getting off the ultimate. Yawar doing massive damage, but Scourge McDuck able to heal a bit thanks to that spell lifesteal. Pops his BKB as well, but now that it's over, the buyback from Quinn, it looks like the spear into the wall. Can they kill the Bristleback? Absolutely. Buyback from the Ember Spirit as well, but Kits basically left to his own devices. It's a 1 versus 4. Question is, can Quincy Crew catch up to Kits? There's the Diffusal Blade, the inhibit, as we like to say, spear into the trees, and a dieback. Double kill for Kezu. What a fight from Quincy Crew.
It's so huge for Quinn that he gets the ball up off there. Is that what it's called? Roll up. Did I call it ball up?
Now that he got his ball up.
I'm going to call it ball up. I like that. He gets off the roll up, and that makes all the difference. If he gets stunned by Dragon Knight as that opener, this is a totally different story, and I actually think he just flat out dies to the cut. But quick reaction on the ball up. Turns it into a big fight. You're going to see the replay here.
Ball
so there
up,
comes
son.
He even got the spell off, so it actually missed.
Right.
It wasn't just that he became immune, but while it's mid-air from 200 range, that roll-up changes everything.
Man, that is very unfortunate for the Cut. And this is going to extend the lead even more for Quincy Crew. They get the Ags, they get the Shard, 18k net worth now. It looks like Shadow Demon's going to be part of this plan as well.
Yeah, Overlum trying his best here to get off a disruption on the Luna to try to stop the festivities, but gets caught by Kezu very easily, and now it's just high ground time. They know there's no Ember. They want to at least force buybacks here. If they don't get any buybacks, they get Elena Barracks.
Indeed.
And they're gone. That's
no
the Luna
Ember.
Push. We've seen these many times before.
Indeed. No Ember Spirit for 35 seconds, so I would expect them to be able to get another lane relatively easily.
No problem.
And just like that, Quincy Crew has opened things up in game number 1 of this best of 3. And they're going to attempt to go for Mega Creeps as Quinn, using the Blink Dagger with his ult, forces out the BKB from Scourge. And I think they're going to be happy with that now that Ember Spirit's going to be back in 10 seconds. But again, they still have Aegis, so really no reason to stop. Dragon Tail?
Well, they don't have the Rolling Thunder now.
True. But he's got Ball Up.
Yeah, that's true.
He can ball up anytime he wants.
Balling Thunder.
Yeah, Quincy Crew just going to reset. Wait for that ultimate.
I know. The full-on combo name, Rolling Baller.
That's pretty good.
That's good. That's me.
I enjoyed that.
When
I mean, he does have the CDR talent at 25 as well, so...
Yeah, he's got it again.
He is ready to go. There's the break.
Ready to ball.
Scourge. Gets off the Bloodstone. There's the save. But he is left all alone, and he is dead.
Scourge ducked.
He got ducked hard by the ball. As this is going to likely be Mega Creeps with a buyback onto the Bristleback.
Oh, that's a good
nice
blast off.
Onto 2 with the blast off, and that's going to be 2 dead heroes for Quincy Crew, although one of them is the Aegis, and Kezu barely getting out just a little bit longer, but no, the BKB won't save him. Yawar just manning up, while Quinn is balling up. And Scourge McDuck, everything is rhyming today. Mega Creeps go the way of Quincy Crew, and things are looking primed and ready for a 1-0 lead in this series.
Keep hitting Scourge McDuck in the back to kill Quinn.
Yep, he's getting quite a bit of spell lifesteal going on with that Bloodstone, and Yawar actually dies as well.
Wait,
so
none of them have buybacks, actually.
I mean, Who are they gonna push with?
That's a very good question, Suns fan.
Double kill for Kazu.
Oh, okay.
Triple kill for Kazu.
Well then.
They could potentially no. Okay. But there are mega creeps, so Quincy crew not really in a huge rush.
Overlum is exploring.
Ultra kill for Kazu. This is the most staggered ultra kill I think I've seen in quite some time. They're like all separated by 15 seconds, like right at the limit. And Kezu, he really wants that rampage, but this is a bristleback.
There is no way he gets a rampage.
Oh, we'll see. All right, he gets off another rebuke. Go into the fountain, you coward! Don't beat your... Okay, Kezu.
Damn, you really reminded me of Pure and Flax there.
By saying what?
It was the way you did the yell.
Is that a compliment? I'll take it as a compliment.
I don't know. Yeah, I like Ted.
Yeah, most people do, including myself.
He's going to be at the major.
The major?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think so, right?
I didn't look at the talent announcement. Are you going?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. You're going to ball up there?
I'm going to go rolling balling with Kezu if he qualifies, that's for sure.
Well, Scourge McDuck defending all by his lonesome. And Quincy crew just need one more push. I mean, with this 30K lead, there is basically nothing the cut can do.
If only Kezu had this item when he went for his rampage, he might have actually got it.
Deso?
The leveler. He needed that attack speed to kill the bristle.
I guess he's had the Deso for a while since he has 18 charges.
He has 9 charges. You get 2 per kill.
18,
it's not charges. Charges implies you can use or lose them sometimes. He has 18 stacks.
Stacks. Okay, fair enough.
Technically important. You don't confuse the audience. They don't know what you mean.
But when you say ball up, they know what you mean.
They know exactly what I mean.
Okay.
Everybody's been there.
I don't even know what that means. What the hell does that even mean?
I said the audience knows.
True. Let us know if you understand what Cinderin means by balling up. Man, only 1 Boots of Bearing charge available, Cinderin.
Yep. How often is the restack? 3 minutes. Every 3 minutes you get a charge.
Yeah. Can you repurchase the recipe? I doubt it, right?
I have no idea.
I doubt it.
It's very expensive recipe.
Yeah, but it's worth the test here, Milan. As he has recall, thanks to the shard that I think he's the one that took the shard on Roche. And Yawar
should be a second upgrade to it. After Boots of Bearing, you can buy another recipe to get Boots of Balling.
Boots of Balling. What happens there? You all turn into balls?
Yeah, then you all use ball up for 2 seconds instead of getting no slowing.
It could be called Meatball.
What? All right, here comes Ade. He gets stunned
Mars
immediately.
Arena, nice save again onto the bristleback. Pops his BKB, was broken for just a little bit there, but now the focus from Yawar is on this Dragon Knight who absolutely melts. And again, with this insurmountable lead for Quincy crew, the GGs should come out. As you can see, everybody's reaction to the GGs that have yet to actually come. We're just going to look at their faces as the game is actually still going. The Ancient is falling, and now the GGs come out. And Quinn, you can tell, just based on his psychopath reaction, that he is very happy.